Hello everyone, and welcome to Suzerain. This is a game that has been requested for a very long time, and I am finally getting around to it, so I'm excited. I know nothing about this game. That has been the recommendation to go into this blind. So from what I can see here, we're looking at definitely a sort of fictional world, and we're probably going to be playing in Swordland, if that marker is any kind of indication. I think the Kingdom of Risia is the DLC. I don't have that installed, so this is just the base game. And we are a, let's say, small, medium-sized country. The Kingdom of Rumburg is a very large one over here. And we have Lesbia, we've got Velen, and we've got Agnolia in the north, and Valksland over here. So this all gives me a bit of a, just from the naming pattern, almost like a Nordic sort of Nordic Baltic Nordic sort of feel, and it looks like maybe in the 1950s, but we do have kingdoms around still, so we'll see where this all goes. Now I will be again, I have no idea how this works out, so I don't know yet what I'm going to be doing in terms of visual cinematics, the usual intro things that sort of define how I'm doing things on the channel. I'm going to have to play this by the ear simply because I have no idea what's coming. I don't know if this is real time. I don't know if this is turn-based. I don't know if the game has any cinematics by itself. So we'll find out, and I'll come up with it as we go along, and we'll see how this goes. Now, in terms of politics, I have been told that this is a very political game, which I'm excited about. But in terms of politics, I don't know what kind of political directions we have. Is it a mirror of our political systems, where we have a sort of socialist left and a nationalist right, and then something in centrist in the middle? I would assume so. Or have they come up with something completely different? We'll see. But for now, we will play a new game in Suzerain, which, by the way, is the opposite of vassal. So if you're a vassal, then the one that you're vassal to is your suzerain. All right, so new game starting. I'm gonna just call this channel, just in case I need to play. I want to play something. I want to play something myself at some point, and then I know which save game is which. So we're gonna call it that. And we are Anton Rayne. Is that us? Maybe. Or is this just the current president? I don't know. So Anton Rayne is the 4th president of Swordland. He has been elected as 4th president of Swordland amidst the deep recession, demands for reform and external pressures. His victory followed a campaign focused on turning a new page and recovering from economic hardship, striking a chord with a divided electorate. Yeah, what else is new? Now, as his administration takes shape, uncertainty lingers in the halls of power. Rayne faces a nation burdened by institutional fatigue, cautious optimism, and the quiet urgency of change. Or at least we're not at war with anyone right now, by the looks of it. We have torpor mode. What is this? Disables manual saving and enables achievements. That is unfortunate. Not because I'm trying to save scum, but because I do have to occasionally deal with crashes. You know, Windows crashes, games crash, and or recording software dies, and then I need to redo something. So if I don't have a save to fall back to when that kind of thing happens, that can cause quite significant problems for ongoing campaigns. But nothing I can do about it, so we're going to go with that. So what do we know about the Republic of Swordland? We are a presidential republic with a population of 36 million. That is actually reasonably smaller. We are in recession. Okay, good to know. And we are a major power, apparently. Okay, so I would have thought that we'd be more of a middling regional power, sort of. And our starting date is 1954. So we get to start the story. Now, I am thinking of playing a far left campaign. I don't know if that's possible. We'll find out. But just as a general disclaimer, the choices I make in the game are not necessarily applicable to my own personal views on things. but I'm curious to see what's available there, and I'm thinking to do a sort of communist left kind of run. Let's see where that brings us. All right, let's begin the story. And apparently this has a lot of reading involved. So if that's not your type of thing, then you may want to have to choose a different campaign on the channel. Anyway, let's go. I'll try not to talk over any kind of cinematics. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You are my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country. Nazim Hikmet Ran. Okay, interesting naming. 1908. I thought we were 1954. Okay, 1908, Kingdom of Swordland. You opened your eyes to this world. Oh, I'm born. Okay. So I'm not sure if the 1954, if that's me, or if that is the current president and I am whatever comes out of this. We'll find out. I came from a wealthy family, a middle-income family, or an impoverished family in the city of Deir. I'm definitely getting a sort of Baltic Nordic feel here with Lackhaven, Holsord, and Deir. That sounds very, very Swedish or Danish or something like that. I am coming from an impoverished family because I think that's probably where that sort of idea will come from. So I am coming from an impoverished family in Deir. Your parents named you Anton. Also, that is me. What was his name? Anton Rayne? Something like that. My parents named me Anton as the only child of a farmer. So I'm going to be president. Okay, that's good to know. You spent your childhood among wheat fields. Life was not easy. You were too poor to afford a good education. The Rayne family was caring regardless of the economically dire situation. Your parents always did their best to support you. Okay, it's good to know. So I'm coming from the countryside. During a history class at school, the bells started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. Oh, good grief. Okay, so the kingdom was no more. So we started out as a monarchy, and we're now the Republic of Swordland. All right? The only home I've ever known. I definitely don't fully understand. How old am I? 15. Yeah, I'd definitely be happy that I had a day off. But I think mostly I'd be worried because, you're coming from a rural area. Big changes is not something you're particularly keen on generally. So I'm somewhat worried about things. Months after the Republic was proclaimed, life around you changed. You watched friends and family face uncertainty, economic hardship, scattered unrest, and resistance from those tied to the old order. Okay, so we went from kingdom to republic through revolution. But things obviously don't immediately go as planned. In their struggle, I envied those who escaped it all and wished for an easier path. Or is this the difficulty level? Okay, so we could get easier resources, harder resources, or the middle ground. So easy, normal, hard. I'm going to play on normal. I'm assuming that that's the difficulty level. So we're going to go with that. After graduating, I passed the university exam with high marks. Oh, interesting. Given that I was sort of not started from very common ground. So I'm a rather intelligent fellow. At, what am I, 18. Even though your family was poor, the public education system made it possible to go to university. See? No student loans. Said already that I appreciate the opportunity given to me by this sort of thing. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. Now I could study law. I am from Deir, so history would be an option, or economics at the Lackhaven Business School. I'm thinking, honestly, economics, simply because I am coming from poverty, so I'm very familiar with poverty, or Anton is rather, is very familiar with poverty, and as important as history is, if he is having ambition to make any changes, then economics would be a good basis for that. So we're going to go to the Lochhaven Business School to study economics. During the first year, you attended a lecture with David Vichy, my teacher and mentor from the university. He was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry and the son of the president. Okay. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why a market economy is the better option for Swordland. He argued for a system where prices for goods and services are determined by the open market. I could agree in principle. I could question that and say, look, open markets are all fine and dandy, but especially if you're coming from primary production, then government support can be essential, especially in times of hardship. And at the same time, primary production can be very essential for national security. And as such, if everything is done on the open market, we're going to be looking at monopolies. We're going to be looking at foreign takeovers potentially of critical industries, and we're going to be seeing the end of small farmers simply because larger farms are going to be more efficient, which means that small farms like the ones that I grew up on are going to fall to industrialized agriculture. Now, while this is a good thing, if you are looking to overall improve the economic situation, it has its downsides. So I am certainly questioning what I'm being taught here, especially if you come into situations where government intervention is needed in order to keep the farming sector alive. And food is important. Now, I think there's more to it than just general market freedom. 1927, soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Oh dear. Many were in shock as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. Oh, that's no good. So we've got military coup? Yeah. A group of students started gathering in protest. Along with your best friend Peter Vektern, you decided to protest with the students. Absolutely, yes. So Peter is my best friend, so we'll protest with the students. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Luderin declared martial law in order to restore the administration. Oh dear, yeah. Well, restoring the administration means that he wants to take power over power. Please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You joined the students that slowly marched towards the large group of soldiers. And they're actually attacking. Okay, so we definitely don't have a well-integrated, a military that's well integrated with the civilian population and is more, by the looks of it, more backing the nationalist counter-revolution here that we're having. Okay, so soldiers are charging. Sorry, my voice is a little bit scratchy, but I was just keen to get going, so we'll probably not make it a too long of an episode. A student fell and was trampled as everybody started running away. One must stand in the face of injustice. This might go terribly wrong and become a very, very short campaign. Generally unwise to stand your ground against armed men. At the same time, what does young Anton have to lose at this point? Idealistic as he is. So holding the ground. And I am being beaten relentlessly. Yeah, that was a gloomy year. So definitely not having any respect for the military. That much is clear. The majority of the students and teachers displayed their opposition. Thus, Lochhaven became a target for the military regime. You didn't want to stay idle and decided to join. What can we join? Student council? Nah. We are a target for the military regime. So the biggest point is probably human rights, because if they shut down free speech and everything else, then political debate groups are not going to have much fun. So human rights is where we're going for. So human rights group. The group heavily protested against the deteriorating human rights situation in Swordland. You contributed in thorough discussions on how to protect and expand freedoms. In one of the meetings, Peter, my friend, introduced me to a classmate, Monica. You were immediately attracted to... okay, so my love interest, that's early, is either smart, beautiful, or diligent. Can I get all? I'm gonna go with not beauty, intelligence or diligence. I'm thinking intelligence, so we're gonna go with that. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swordfish League of Women, an organization campaigning for women's rights. I'm wholeheartedly in support of that cause, because I'm already in a human rights cause. I'm not just trying to get into her pants, but definitely Anton is interested in that because that's his direction. All right. Politically charged environment led me to joining the Red Youth. The socialists? Okay, here we go. So we've got socialists, we've got nationalists, or we stay neutral. All right, so we don't... In a politically charged environment like this, it's left or right. The Red Youth, the socialists. All right. The radio relayed that the communist general Ricard surrounded Luderin. Luderin was the... he was the one who led the coup. Okay. So we're in 1928, and Ricard has surrounded Luderin and his troops and demands their surrender. So we're effectively in a civil war now. They refused, and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You just couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves. Okay, so the armed forces are not completely backing the nationalist takeover. But there is sufficient support inside the armed forces for the communists. So Swordland plunged into chaos. Ricard's sudden attack caused more instability in the country. But compared to nationalist Luderin, he was a real socialist. This convinced you to participate in a support march. You were chanting, "Workers of the world, unite." Yes, definitely. We could bring down the nationalists. Okay, so what do we have? We've got French liberty. We've got the Workers of the World Unite, which is what we're going with. And it's obviously the communist motto of the International. Or just generally, we just want the nationalists to be gone. No. So Anton is, how old is he now? 20. And he came from... He has seen poverty. He has seen power struggles, armed conflict, civil war, and is definitely of the opinion that the world is a better place if it is run not by powerful people in charge, but by more of a more on the United Workers. And a new system is needed, radically different from what we have currently. Let's see how that ends up. You were marching under the protection of Ricard's soldiers. The students supported Luderin's group gathered a few hundred meters in front of you. Many nationalists were among them. You knew something was going to happen. Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm staying. There was a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to beat the students. Tanks started rolling forward. Okay, so they're trying to put down the communist protest. In this chaotic moment, you saw a young girl about to get run over by a tank. I can either run and save her or shout and warn her. Shouting is probably faster if she can hear me. But she also won't necessarily know that I'm addressing her. So running and saving her might be the better option here. Let's do that. Oh, I couldn't reach her in time. Okay, so definitely the military is... Yeah, military force is not a way to... It's not a basis for government. Never forget her face. The clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. Well, the chaos had to end eventually. Okay, 1929, so 1 year into the Civil War. The charismatic colonel I thought we had the nationalists surrounded at this point, but apparently things have gone a little out of hand. The Charismatic Colonel Tarkin Sol orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital where the Lutheranist and Ricardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. Okay, so we actually have three factions. So we had the Lutheranist nationalists. I'm assuming it's more of a sort of fascist direction given the time period. And we've got the Ricardists, which are the communist revolutionaries. Both of them having their own armed forces, but apparently not strong enough for a decisive victory. And then a man out of the military hierarchy managed to, a mere colonel by that as well, managed to gather enough forces behind himself to actually defeat both. So apparently large parts of the armed forces were not too keen on the whole Civil War story and are not too politically aligned either left or right. Okay. A new constitution was written and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a savior. Yeah, I have my doubts. Of course, for now, military government restoring stability is the first step. Let's see what he does. He formed the United Swordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate in the first ever single-party election. So we have an election and there's one party? Is that what they're trying to say? So basically, we would be just voting to legitimize his party because there is no choice. No, I am definitely not voting. I'm not legitimizing the single party as the will of the people. What he should be doing is after a peaceful situation has been restored would be to, if it was democratic, he should have a multi-party election. We'll see where we get. But I'm definitely not participating in sham elections here. All right, the USP won the election by a large majority. Well, won the election is kind of a misnomer because it's a one-party state. So the party is it just means that the party gets sufficient support from the population. The military government announced a 4-year restoration period. Oh, 4-year plan, yes. Restoration period to transform to an entirely civilian government. Okay, that's surprising, but let's see how that works out. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica. You were both interested in marrying and starting a family. However, a letter arrived from the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. Okay, so I'm being drafted. We do have a one-party state, but they are transforming to a civilian government. Now, I'm not necessarily, or Anton rather, is not necessarily objecting to a single-party state, provided that the single party is the Workers' Party of Swordland, and the government itself does away with elections that are easily manipulated, as you can see, because all it takes is a mid-ranking military officer to gather enough armed forces behind him, and then declare himself president, and then have a single party to control the government. So the whole system of elections not necessarily a guarantor of stability. We might need a completely different system than what we had previously. But for now, I have to serve my national duty. The devastating civil war from neighboring Valen. Where was Valen? Valen. Republic of Valen is a young and fragile republic located southeast Maricopa. Okay, is Maricopa the continent, maybe? Or the region? Yeah, there was something southeast. Southeast? Southeast Maricopa. Okay, yes, it was southwest from us, but it is in southeast of that must be the continent then, yes. So the devastating civil war from neighboring Valen quickly turned into a proxy war between regional and world powers. Oh dear, yeah, that happens. The distinguished mayor, Josef Lancea, ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of Gumren Outpost. Okay. So there is a civil war or a proxy war happening in the neighboring country, and we're doing border patrol basically to make sure that none of that spills over into our country, because we have our own problems. All right, let's see how that goes. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source, so the squad crawled forward in formation and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. Okay, so we could let them get away, or we could... Okay, we are a border patrol unit, so our duty currently is to secure the border and make sure that nobody gets across unless it's by legal means. So sneaking across the border is not not supposed to be happening. So we could escort them back. I mean, we're not shooting them. We'll bring them back rather than let refugees from a civil war country infiltrate our country, because we already have stability problems as they are. That said, Anton is very big on human rights, and he might have an opportunity here to not to do what's demanded, and he especially doesn't like the military. So not to do what's demanded, but to do what he feels is the humane thing to do. So he's going to let them slip through. After the patrol, Mayor Lancea arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of your command, calling you a disappointment. Yeah, he can put that where the sun doesn't shine. One of your squad members had reported your actions. Snitches. After several months of scrubbing the floors as a punishment, my duties ended and I went back to civilian life. Yeah, I'm not having anything with the military. You and Monica decided to share your lives together. After receiving the blessing of her parents, a ceremony was held in Holsword. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job within the governing United Swordland Party. So the idea here... Can I scroll this? Okay, yeah. Okay, not at the scroll wheel only works if I'm under text. Okay, good to know. I thought it crashed there for a second, giving me a heart attack. I'll have to start all over again. What was I saying? So I worked hard to secure a high-paying job within the governing United Swordland Party. Now, the United Swordland Party is a... Well, what's the direction of the party, or what's the alignment of the party? I think it was created by the military, so I'm thinking it's probably more on the nationalist side or on the right-wing side, but not ultra-nationalist like the I forgot his name, like the one who started the coup in the first place. So either working for the ruling party was the easiest path to power. Yeah, now I'm not looking for power for its own sake. Financial compensation, no. Best opportunity to change the country for the better. That's more what Anton is after. Okay. I became the economics assistant of one of the more experienced members of Assembly. I worked long and hard, investigating hundreds of pages of economic reports late into the night. I am climbing the ladder. Tarkin Sol gave amnesty to the remaining factions of the Civil War and chose de-escalation and appeasement. Okay. So, wow, that is 4 years after the restoration of the Republic. Institutions and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives, such as a citizen-funded bills program to revitalize the economy, a social labor initiative to help rebuild and improve society, and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. The first multi-party elections in the history of Swordland were held. Okay, so Tarkin Sol was elected once more. But, okay, so we actually had multi-party elections. Okay, so which were the other parties? I'm curious. So Tarkin Sol was elected once more. The new 5-year plan, that sounds like my kind of economics, and the subsequent financial work put you under a lot of pressure. But your significant contribution to the economic strategy triggered an invitation to meet President Sol himself, who offered you a key position. You were to become the youngest member of Assembly. I have doubts. Now, I'm obviously looking to improve things, And ideally, I would have liked to join, if there is a communist party that seeks to abolish the republican system, then I would have preferred that. But while I am within the Uni Party at this point, and I can't reject it, so I'm accepting it with doubts. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with the influential inner circle. You needed allies, so you brought on Peter as your right-hand man. The birth of your son, Frank, provided a brief moment of joy and relief. I will definitely sacrifice work to spend time with the family. In the end, Anton is a family man. He grew up in the countryside, and as much as he loves his country and seeks to bring it onto, and brings in some, let me say, unconventional ideas, he definitely wishes to be with his family. So sacrifice work to spend time with family. During my absence, Peter found trustworthy contacts and strengthened my position in the party. At the same time, President Zoll increased his authority over the years. Yeah, here we go. How long did it take? Actually, 1941. So he's been ruling for when was the? Can I scroll up here? Yeah. Okay, so 1929, so he's been ruling for 12 years. Yeah, that's too long already. That said, I mean, the system Anton is looking for also probably will have a sort of chairman, but the chairman should be chosen by the workers. Anyway, at the same time, President Zoll increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the USP. USP being it's the United Sordland Party. Okay, cracks begin to show. President Zoll barely secured a majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the next year, the Swedish people grew increasingly discontent with corruption and the worsening quality of life. Economic growth was slowing down. So the 5-year plan was solid, but corruption, as usual, throws a wrench in the works. Meanwhile, calls for a United Sordland Party Congress became louder as the leadership struggle started to brew. Do I want to join that? I don't want to support the president because he has brought me in, but he is clearly looking for a it's clearly not working with him. So we need to change the system, and the opposition internally would just mean that will just mean another face, but for the same system. So I think I'm going to watch this one from the sidelines. We'll see where this leads us. I'm looking more for a party that's more politically aligned with what I'm trying to do, but let's see how that goes. The contender for the party leadership was Ewald Alfonso, a reformist and talented business magnate. Oh dear, yeah, okay. With a growing follower base within the party. So the party is going center liberal more than center right, by the looks of it. But meanwhile, more than nationalist, let me say, because a business magnate can certainly be liberal right, so not liberal in a American sense, but more on a more in a sort of economic sense. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Zoll was meeting party members one by one. Approached me too. The president offered you the position of Minister of Economy, Commerce and Energy in the next government if you backed him in the upcoming vote. Okay, so I can vote for him. Well, it's an either or choice, right? So I can support him or the upcoming businessman. Tricky one. Definitely, I mean, if I'm shouting workers of the world unite, the capitalist bourgeoisie is the last one I'm being supporting. I'm not a particular fan of Zoll, but I think I will back him. I will back him in the vote regardless, simply because it's not the right direction, but it's the less wrong direction. and maybe we can bring in these ideas. Let's see how this goes. The Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the United Swordland Party were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. Yeah, I don't like Sol, but I like Alfonso even less. He is what's wrong with. He is symbolizing everything that's wrong and with the system, and that has brought us into this kind of problematic direction to begin with. So I'm voting for Sol. Unfortunately, Tarkin Sol lost the leadership vote and evolved Alfonso by a small margin. During the Congress, Sol announced he would retire from politics at the end of his term and appointed Alfonso as vice president. The systems he had established were to stay much longer. His achievements wouldn't be forgotten. There's no love lost for Sol, and none for Alfonso either. So, honestly, yeah. I'm going to have to work with whoever's in charge. So let's go down that way. A month later, my daughter was born. We are 1946. What was the date this whole thing started? 1954. So we've still got 8 years to go. A month later, my daughter was born. Monica named her Diana. She motivated you during a tumultuous period in the party. As the VP and the leader of the USP, Alfonso began dismantling the old organization and structures established by the USP, such as the State Educators Corps and the Swedish State Corporation Bills. Okay, so he's trying to take, he's going libertarian. He's trying to take the government's responsibility away and to privatize, probably. It sounds like privatization, and that is going to go, especially with rampant corruption, privatization is going to go completely sideways. So, the general elections were approaching. United Swordland Party was under new leadership. Okay, I outright disagree. He is the enemy. So I'm going to stay away. I will not be joining him because he's leading the party in the wrong direction. During the general elections, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a romance scandal. YouTube is a bit sensitive with these words, with his secretary. He was replaced by the more popular figure, Franz Richter. Who is the main opposition party? I don't have much of an idea. New and popular figure from the People's Freedom and Justice Party, who currently serves as its leader. Something that's called People's Party sounds like my kind of area, but it's the opposition, so wrong party. The new economic policies and the extensive privatization program, there we go, proposed by Alfonso, secured an election victory for the United Swordland Party. I mean, economic policies might be good, but privatization is not the way to go. Over the following years, I did my best in order to make Swordland a better place, try to climb the ladder, or dedicate myself to the party and Swordland, make Swordland a better place. After all he's seen, Anton is idealistic and has no love lost for the United Swordland Party. But we'll see what this all brings us. We will try to make the country a better place. The presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in government and law and advancements in liberal democratic values. However, due to infighting and disorganization, continental economic tensions, and fast-track privatization, it was followed by a severe economic recession. Told you. Look, if you have if we're just out of a civil war, we came from a 5-year planned economy, and then you are fast-tracking privatization, which effectively means that the corrupt cronies of Alfonso have grabbed whatever means of production they could and enriched themselves into powerful oligarchs. So we're giving this all a liberal democratic veneer, but under the hood, it's absolutely devastated the economy and impoverished the people. See, I told you. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 election, but the unfair election system hampered opposition efforts to campaign. Well, I'm worried about all of these. I don't really care about the party as much, but obviously, if I am to enact change, I have to work within the system, unless we want to run another revolution. My reputation be tarnished along with Alfonso. I sincerely disagree with Alfonso here. I'm worried about the economic recession, obviously, because I am the economist. But I don't wish to be seen as in the same political direction as Alfonso. So I will be worried about my reputation here, because if I am to enact any kind of change, I need to distance myself from the bourgeoisie and the capitalists. With Peter's help, your presence in the USP grew. The two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents to your side. You became the face of a new wing of the party. Step by step and with adequate planning, your wing took over the leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. All right, the moment to make a move had come. I can blame him for the crisis on television. I think that is agreeable. We're not bribing him and his inner circle, or I could advise him to step down. Look, this is politics, right? You're not asking pretty please. No, we'll make, and honestly, this is the truth, right? He and his cronies have pillaged the wealth of the citizens and the workers, and have enriched themselves in the process, and have driven the country into a crisis. So I'm going to blame him for that. The media backlash prompted Alfonso to reshuffle his cabinet and most of his inner circle. Even Minister of Development Gus Manger, we'll see, famous businessman and Minister of Rural Development, abandoned him. Alfonso was removed from power by a no-confidence vote. The party eventually voted you in because of your influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as my running mate. So now it's my turn. Okay. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to abolish the capitalists and seize the means of production is missing. Where is that? So I can go democratic or I can go nationalist. Well, I don't want to enact democratic reforms because I have seen where democratic liberalism is bringing us. It means that the workers are being oppressed by the capitalists, and it is too frail of a system. So I'm going to stick with the national values and just make sure that the values are the right ones. So workers of the country unite. That's what we're going with. Great nation of Swordland, due to our incompetent leadership, enemies both internal and external are influencing our glorious nation. Today more than ever, we need to unite under one flag and protect our values. Great Swordland. Okay, the broadcast has ended. On election day, millions went out to cast their vote. A time to face the truth. All right, Chapter 1, President Rayne. Okay. Oh, I get character creation. All right. Give me a second. You don't have to watch me. I'm just going to go through this and then we'll see what I'm going to be looking like. Okay. I can't change that later. Yeah, that's pretty clear. So I have tried my best to achieve a man of the people sort of look, working class revolutionary. And with that, we'll finish that. Yes, I am sure. And as Anton Rayne, I have made consequential promises to the people of Swordland to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. After the recent market reforms and the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems with an indecision and turbulence causing the population to demand a direction. Yes, I have heard the promotion of market economy from the professor at university, but at the same time, I have seen the pain that the class structure and the capitalist plunder of the riches of the country have caused the common workers, and we will be definitely going for a planned economy. So that's what we're going with. Okay. The global rivalries between capitalist Arcasia in the west, the monarchy of Rumburg, that was the big country, and the communist United Contana in the east are intensifying. Swordland has the potential to align with others to lean towards neutrality. Where were the communists? Contana in the east, so we're aligning east. We will see if we can create a successful country of equality and of where the working class is ruling rather than the exploitative capitalist class. So we'll be aligning east. Okay. Yeah, that's the right one. Immigration policy. In the last 5 years, Bludish, Vecek, and Agnolian immigrants flocked to Swordland due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Alfonso. Of course, he wanted to have mass immigration for cheap labor, mostly of foreigners that were easy to be controlled and didn't have rights necessarily. As a result, these tensions are causing requests for a political solution. We'll toughen the immigration laws. It's not that people can't immigrate, but that they have to be, they have to go through the correct channels, and we'll make an end to the attempts to undermine the political system by mass immigration. So toughen the immigration laws. Given that is a very current thing. Just a quick reminder that again, this is Anton here, right? This is not necessarily, and I'm either going to confirm or deny this, but it is not necessarily my personal view. All right, term focus. We can focus on education. The once praised public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks in the last decade. The lack of new schools, high student-to-teacher ratios, low teacher salaries, and even a lack of classroom equipment in certain parts of the country cause massive divergences in the public education system. So Anton has come through the public education system. He came from humble beginnings, and if the public education system didn't exist, he himself would not be where he is today. So that's definitely something that's close to his heart. But what other choices do we have? Defense. Swedish armed forces were the nation's most funded branch until the Alfonso government reduced the defense budget significantly. With the increase of saber-rattling threats looming in the north by Rumburg and a growing presence of the superpowers in the region, the critical deterrence of the SAF. What is the SAF? It's the Swedish armed forces. Yeah, right. It's us. Matters more than ever. Okay. Law and enforcement. Recently, culminating political tension between the different youth groups and socioeconomic pressures between multiple classes of society, yes, is increasing the issues of the law and enforcement systems. Police need help keeping up with increased crime rates. Simultaneously, judges in court deal with an enormous growing backlog of legal cases. What we need is to sort out the class, the wealth divergence, and the class barriers. We need to get the proletariat into power. That's what we need to do, not put them down. Swordland's health system and healthcare quality have stagnated. Well, everything's broken, is it? What actually works well at the moment? Let me approach it from that direction. So the health system and healthcare have stagnated due to administrative inefficiencies, increased service demand, and an increasing divide in service quality between urban and rural hospitals. The average life expectancy has dropped significantly with issues such as maternity deaths and disease outbreaks. Good grief. Yeah, that's what you get when you privatize everything without any kind of oversight. The once praised public education system. Now we're back in education. So we've got education, defense, law, health. I'm thinking education, honestly, because if we are to enact, See, the problem with getting the workers of the country to unite, it might actually be mildly appropriate for them not to be too educated. Otherwise, they get funny ideas. Especially if we are in a tense international situation. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to go with education, because education is the foundation of everything. And free education for the working class is absolutely essential in order to get us out of our economic slump as well. So the biggest problem is the economy. Defense is out of the question because we can't afford it, because our economy has been crushed by the capitalists. Law and enforcement would just turn us into yet another dictatorship, so that's out as well. Health is kind of important, but I feel like the education system is the better focus on the long term. The sooner we get to that, the better. And because we need, if we are to repair the country, we will need qualified people, we will need engineers, we will need scientists, and getting free public education is the absolute basis of that system. So we'll do that. I am sure about this, yes. All right. 2 weeks had passed since we won the election. And now I was about to be sworn in as the 4th president of Swordland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rayne. The die was cast. There my story begins. In the distance, the Maroon Palace, I'm presuming that's the government, seat of government, stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future awaited me there. I looked at my family. My son and daughter, Frank and Diana, were next to Monica, my wife. Her eyes were glimmering with pride. Then I turned towards the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former president, Alfonso. Tarkin's soul was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island retreat. Yeah, he's done. He's retired. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. Okay. The time for the oath has come. All right. Well, I am ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of the President of Swordland, and to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the people and the Constitution of the Republic of Swordland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. Thank you. Brothers and sisters, workers, yes, definitely not dear citizens, my fellow swords, brothers and sisters. The crowd looked very eager to listen to me. Idea of unity, current dire situation, or change and hope. I'm honestly not looking at unity, because we have a class divide that needs a revolutionary outlook in order to be overcome. We are in a dire situation, but I think change and hope. So be ready that things are going to be run differently here, because we're going to try something very new that we haven't had before, because we came from a monarchy, we briefly had a republic, we've tried military dictatorship, we've tried the republic again, then we've gone back to, or we've almost gone back to dictatorship, but then we've tried a capitalist liberal setup with large amounts of unexpected, to nobody's great surprise, with massive amounts of corruption and economic hardship for the working class. So change is in the air, and that affects all of us. So change and hope is what I'm going to go with. The people have chosen. Together we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change. I could talk about the issues that plague us. We stand together, we prevail, or our capabilities. Now we want to talk about the issues. Make it clear from the very beginning that we are, if we stand together, the working class, we could talk about what's good in the country, but from the introduction section, there's an awful lot of that to go around these days, or the issues that plague us. I'm going to go with the issues that plague us. We still have insufficient infrastructure, houses without electricity, without water. We have crime in our streets, unemployment within the youth, and we still have injustices in the government that plague us. So, hang on. Where did I say? I swear to the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic. Let's rewrite it. We will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. That is a good argument. The future awaits us. It is time to turn our faces to the east. Yeah, that sounds actually. It's time to turn our faces to the east because we cannot stand alone. But there are other countries that are. Maybe that we can use as examples for how to rebuild our society. So let's turn our faces to the east. Everybody knows what's coming, my friends. We're going there. Right. What can we say? It's time for a united and powerful Swordland once again. Change now, not in the next decade or years. Today, our capacity as a nation has never been great. That's a bit ambitious, given that everything is busted. Change is now, not in the next decade or in the next years. Change is now. Hundreds of thousands cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden all at the same time. Raise the fist, absolutely. We're going there. Huge burst of applause. I took a long look at the people of Swordland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify me that it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadilla with flags of Swordland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. So we've got Serge Wolkner. Hello, Mr. President. I still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing my new title made me smile even more. If you allow me to introduce myself, I am Serge, your new driver. Nice to meet you, Serge. Comrade Serge. It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you, Serge. Let's remember his name. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. I think I'm going to end it here. I don't know for how much longer this is going to go or if I can actually end it here. But I'll at least end the episode and take a break. And we will continue the conversation with Comrade Serge. And we might have to have a chat with, what was his name, Petr, as well. If he is going to work with me, he will have to support the new direction that we're taking the country in. But Comrade Serge is our driver. And I don't think the Chief Justice, what was his name, Hawkner or something, is going to be particularly happy with what I'm doing here. But, out with the old, in with the new. And I will see you in the next episode.